Hey, Jillian here with Body You Crave. And one of the biggest questions that I get asked is always, what should I eat in order to lose weight? What the hell am I supposed to eat? Please just tell me, right? Because over here you've got one camp that says I have to eat paleo and I have to eat like my ancestors ate. And then I have this other group that says, oh no, I need to eat vegetarian and vegan or low carb or no carb or gluten-free or wheat-free or whatever, right? We are so caught up in this idea of what it takes to lose weight that we really don't understand. And it really creates a very negative relationship to food. That is our biggest problem, is that we create all of these lies and myths and misunderstandings as to what it actually looks like to get and keep a body that you crave. How do you have the body you crave and also a life that you love, where you aren't hating yourself, you aren't hating life, hating and kind of in this funk because of your relationship to food. So we first have to really drop all of these ideas and all of the bullshit and lies and pretty much everything we've ever been told about food and weight loss, right? Which is really hard because the mainstream diet industry is blasting us with all of this information, right? And a big lie is the calories in, calories out myth. And that we'll link to in the bottom. There's a whole separate video on just that one topic. But really, that is what I call starving yourself. That's not fun, that's not pretty, and that's not what it takes to actually get a body that you crave. And so it really comes down to more than just exercising harder and eating less. We don't need to look so much at the how much you're eating. And now people have moved on to the, well, what should I eat? But really, we need to understand, why are we eating what we're eating? Because the truth is, calories in, calories out doesn't really work very well. We do have a good understanding that it is food that makes up 75% of our body composition. So the way that we look is often 75% related to our nutrition and 25% related to what we do in the gym. Right? So we can take that and now break it down even further and say, well, 75% of what we eat actually comes from our psychology and what we think about food, what we think about ourselves, and 25% what we actually put in our mouths. Right? And so when you think about it in that terms, understanding our mindset and how we feel about food actually makes a lot more sense as to why that's such an important key and an important aspect into changing that relationship. So changing the what becomes a whole lot easier, right? So at the core of everyone, we have our individual core desires, our core beliefs, core values, who we are, our identity. Beyond that, the next layer is our beliefs, and then beyond that is behaviors. So in order to change a behavior, like changing what you're eating, we have to first change the belief that's below it, right? And so if we don't get to the beliefs, we don't change those beliefs and ideas and philosophies around how we view food, how we view our bodies, how we view fitness, how we view self, how we view these other things, we are not going to fully implement and be successful with changing the behavior that we're seeking to change. Right? We're going for tactics. We're going for a very easy, simple, eat this, not that, instead of really looking at what's underneath it all. So if we take a look at this question of what should I be eating to lose weight, my question is always, well, how has that been working out for you? You've probably been asking that question for a long time. Months, years, decades maybe, right? And the truth is, that's the wrong question to be asking. And we'll get into that. I'll get into my philosophy on what I think is a better approach. But this idea of what should I be eating? I mean, how many times have you asked that question? How many times have you been given an answer that doesn't work for you, or that you can't stick with, or that you end up feeling like a total failure after a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, but that nothing that actually sticks, right? And we know it needs to be a lifestyle. We just don't know how. How do we turn it into a lifestyle? How do we actually make it that? Right? We don't know how. And that's a big block. It's a big obstacle. So instead of looking at, what food should I eat, or how do I reduce my stress levels, or how do I increase my threshold to withstand more stress, we need to be looking at things like, how can we eliminate it? How can we eliminate cravings, right? Not just with certain behaviors, but by getting into our mindset and understanding why it is we eat the foods that we eat. That's really the biggest piece. We've got to understand why we're turning to food, number one. Are we even hungry? Because I can tell you there are plenty of times where I'm not hungry and I'm still reaching for food. So we have to understand, am I hungry? Why am I reaching for food? Or why is it that's kind of, what am I going for? And what is it that I want to feel? what is the state change that I'm looking to make with this food? Because that's usually what it is. I either don't want to feel what I'm feeling, or I want to feel something new. I want to feel a certain way, and that's why I'm going for it. And when we can start to understand and recognize that, and we know, oh, I'm really bored. I'm actually procrastinating. I'm putting off this project at work, or, I'm really stressed out because I just put the kids to bed and I've got all of these things on my plate and I still have this mountain of laundry to fold, and that's why I'm reaching for the chocolate. Now we can understand. So awareness is like a big piece of the puzzle, right? Like awareness can be at least 50% right there. But then we have to do something with it. We have to solve it. We have to figure out, like, what can we do now to eliminate that stress, to eliminate that burden, to cut out that craving, to meet the core craving elsewhere, right? Regardless of what it is. So when it comes down to changing what we eat, we now can change that a lot easier because we've shifted our views and our beliefs. We really have to change our views around food, our beliefs around food, that relationship to food. Food is not good or bad. It's not a moral decision. We are not good or bad based on what we eat. And I'm going to eat in a way that fuels me, but where I can still enjoy life. And I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to shame myself for it. I know that calories is just energy. They're good things for me. I know that eating will fuel my body and I'll feel better. And I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be making decisions out of fear, right? Because we can still even make the quote right decisions. But if we're making it from a place of being fearful and terrified of what might happen if we didn't do that, that's still not a healthy relationship to food either. So getting back to this what piece, I want to make this really actionable and implementable. So we start off with more real food. More real food, right? Very basic, very easy, right? We all have heard this. There's the Whole30 program where you just eat whole foods. You don't eat anything processed for 30 days. And while that is great, and I'm glad that people could white knuckle their way through it, it also kind of sucks. And people typically don't keep doing it for the next 30 days because they don't want to give up their favorite foods forever. They don't. You don't. I know that. I don't. And you don't have to, because when you can be on 70% of the time and then off 30%, right? And you've got this nice balance, or 75, 25%, right? You know that it's something that can last for your entire life. You're not giving up entire food groups. You're not giving up entire foods. You're not trying to say, well, you can only have this much amount on this specific day. You're letting it you're letting it flow, right? This should be a free form. It shouldn't be super strict and super regimented, because our inner rebel does not like that, right? It wants to lash out and be like, I hate you. And then it derails us. We fall off the wagon, the diet wagon, right? And then we either try to get back on, or we just say, screw it, and we throw in the towel altogether. But it really derails us. And so we really have to have that mindset down. So rather than be 90 or 95% good, for 5 or 6 days out of the week, and then the other day or two, you're just at 10%, and you're just eating whatever comes to sight, eating whatever you want, that's not a healthy relationship to food. That doesn't look, that doesn't look enticing. That doesn't look fun. Whereas if we could just decrease the restrictiveness just a little bit, you'll find that you're able to you can do it. You can follow through. This feels easy. It feels light, right? What if losing weight and getting the body that you crave, what if it was easy? What if it was fun? How could you make it fun? How could this be more fun? And I'm not talking about just having a competition of who can run faster or farther or sweat more or whatever. It's, what is going to make this fun? How can do you like to cook, or do you like to go out to restaurants? There are a lot of ways that you can eat out. You can still enjoy social life and lose weight and get the body that you crave, because you know how to eat. And it starts with more real food, right? So lots of veggies, proteins. So you've got all kinds of meat, eggs. You can do cheese if your body is okay with cheese. I say go for it. If you want to do Greek yogurt, go for it. That's a dairy, and people are controversial on this. It doesn't have to be perfect though, right? So more whole foods doesn't mean no processed whatsoever. It just means more whole foods. Great sources of protein right there. You've got fruits, right? We talked about veggies, sweet potatoes, rice. You've got all kinds of different ways you can get in carbs and starches. And if you want pasta, you can still eat some pasta. You can still eat ice cream and pizza and the foods that you love, but there are ways to make it better, right? It's all about getting better. Better is always better, right? Always. Always just make it a little bit better. Instead of having, just pizza for lunch, you can have pizza and a side green salad or some mixed vegetables, right? There are ways to make it better. Just taking one step at a time, though, is going to help move you in the right direction. And that one step repeated day after day after day, it's going to have the compound effect, and it's going to skyrocket you forward. You're not going to feel it. You may not see it. You may not, notice any difference in the first couple of weeks even, but you'll notice it. If you give it 6 months, a year, then you'll notice a difference from these really small incremental shifts, things that you can do like with your eyes closed. So more whole foods, a 70-30 mentality of I never have to be on and like doing good or eating all whole foods like all the time, because life happens, right? We want to enjoy it. And better is always better. We're moving in the right direction. So when it comes down to the what, I always stress the importance of understanding the why underneath it. Like, why do you want to lose weight? Why is it that number? Why is that important to you? Why do you think that's going to make you happy? And then we can start to look at, okay, cool. Well, you want to make some changes in your life. That's awesome. Here's how we do it. Because in the end, we do need to have some kind of roadmap, or we do need to understand like fact from fiction. There are a lot of lies. It's really hard to understand like what I should be eating. We have this view that, food has to be good or bad. And so it's really hard to change that. Trust me, I totally get it. But we need to start to let down all of our let down our guard, let down all of those kind of myths and ideas and rules and ways that we thought it had to be, and really start to feel into it and see what you do well with you. So for example, like Quest bars. I love Quest bars, but I found that I would get really sleepy. If I had one in the afternoon after I'd already had lunch, I'd get really, really sleepy and I would want to take a nap. That really didn't do well for my energy. And so for me, it's more of, okay, well, like, can I eat half a Quest bar? Maybe I don't have a Quest bar. Maybe I save those for the weekends, because it's how I feel. And it's that I don't want to feel this certain way. So I'm going to choose not to eat that, and I'm going to eat this instead. It's also understanding and realizing, why am I reaching for that in the first place? If I've already had lunch and I'm now just looking for something sweet, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to distract myself? Am I bored? Do I not want to do something? Like, what's going on? Right? That's what we have to really understand. And then we can start to substitute short-term. We can make short-term substitutions while we're working on the long-term process to resolve those issues. So I hope that helps with this big dreaded question of what do I eat? And know that you are not alone. So if you're struggling with this, if you're not sure what's going on, you feel like you're doing all the right things, but you just still feel stuck and you feel blah, and like you know that something is off, something's not quite right, then head on over to jillianlama.com/breakthrough. And that's where you can sign up for a call time, and we'll get on the phone and we'll just have a chat. And you can tell me more about what's going on with you. That way I can help you identify the number one area that's keeping you stuck, and we can work through it. Or I can at least outline a plan for how you could work through it over the next couple weeks. So again, that's jillianlama.com/breakthrough. And I would love to chat with you there. So if you found this video helpful, like it, share it, and tag a friend. My message is to help women love their bodies, and when they want to make a change and they're ready for something different, that they know that there are resources and there are people out there who are ready to help. So until next time, bye.